In the mighty kingdom of Zuba, the palace stood tall like a mountain, covered in gold, guarded by hundreds of men, and feared by all. The palace was filled with everything rich and beautiful, yet behind those walls lived a lonely soul, Princess Amira, the only child of King Oluba, the ruler known across many lands for his power and pride. Princess Amira had diamonds, silk clothes, golden sandals, servants at her feet, but she had no one to talk to, no friend, no laughter, no joy. Her mother died giving birth to her, and the king, broken by that pain, decided to protect Amira so much that he locked her away from the world. No stranger could talk to her, no poor man could walk near her. Every prince who visited only saw her from a distance, and even then, they had to live without a word. She lived in silence, trapped in luxury. Now, there was a boy in that palace, a quiet palace guard named Dango. He was no warrior, no prince, just a simple servant who led visitors around and cleaned the gardens. His clothes were worn. His room was small, but his heart was big. Dango had something rare. He had kindness in his eyes and strength in his silence. One rainy afternoon, while Princess Amira was walking alone near the palace fountain, her feet slipped. Her guards weren't close enough. She was falling. But just before her body hit the hard stone, a strong arm caught her. It was Dango. Their eyes met, and for a moment, everything stopped. No one had ever held her before. No one had looked at her like a human being. She gasped. Dango bowed quickly and tried to leave, afraid he had broken a royal law. But something strange happened that day. Amira couldn't stop thinking about him. Days passed, then weeks, and little by little, fate kept bringing them together. Beside the garden, near the hallway, by the stables, sometimes just a smile, sometimes a short question. Slowly, those small mountains and moments turned into full conversations. Dango told her stories from the village, the smell of roasted corn, the sound of mothers singing at night, the struggles of the poor, and the joy they still found. Princess Amira laughed like a child for the first time in years. She looked forward to seeing him. She even wore simpler clothes just to sneak into the servant's yard to talk with him. And Dango, he had fallen deeply in love, but he never said a word. He knew their worlds were too far apart. He knew kings didn't give daughters to men who washed plates and floors. But deep inside Amira, something was changing. She didn't want a crown without joy. She didn't want luxury without love. Unfortunately, in every palace, there is someone watching. Lady Rema, the king's senior advisor, noticed the growing bond between the princess and the servants. She had evil in her heart and ambition in her blood. She wanted Amira to marry a wicked prince from a faraway land, Prince Gako, a man with money, land, soldiers, but no soul. If Amira married him, Lady Rema would control the kingdom through his greed. But Amira rejected Prince Gako's proposal. That night, Ridilema went to him in secret. She whispered a deadly plan. If the princess will not agree, she must be removed. We poisoned her. Then we blamed the servant boy. The king will hand you his daughter's crown, dead or alive. Prince Gako smiled. He agreed, and so the trap was set. The next evening, during dinner, a small servant was paid to pour poison into the princess' wine. Everyone was laughing and eating. No one noticed, but Dango did. He saw how the servant hesitated. He saw Lady Rema, and secretly from across the hall, something in his heart began to beat fast, and as he stood outside, he heard a whisper in his spirit, "That drink is dead." Without thinking, Dango ran into the royal dining hall just as Amira raised her cup. He shouted, "Don't drink that." Everyone turned. Dango snatched the cup from her hand and smashed it on the floor. Guards rushed in. The room turned into chaos. Lady Rema stood and screamed. He tried to poison her. Arrest him. King Oliver, furious, ordered Dango to be thrown into the dungeon immediately. Amira shouted, "No, he saved me." But no one listened. That night, Dango sat in the cold prison, his face bruised, his hand tied, but his spirit was strong. In her royal room, Amira refused to eat, refused to smile. She wept until her pillow was soaked. She begged her father to believe her, and the king, blinded by rage, announced that in 5 days she would marry Prince Gago. No more questions, no more freedom. But the princess had made a decision. On the 3rd night, she dressed like a maid and sneaked into the dungeon. Bribing a guard, she met Dango face to face. He smiled weakly and whispered, "I'm taking you away from here." But Dango shook his head. "No, princess, if I escape now, they will say I'm guilty forever. We must catch them. We must expose them at your wedding." That night, he escaped, not to run, but to gather truth. He met his childhood friend, Malik, a streetwise boy who once worked in the palace kitchen. With Malik's help, Dango planted a magical listening stone outside Lady Rema's chamber. After 2 days, they caught the truth. Lady Rema had confessed her wicked plan, laughing in the shadows, thinking no one was listening. On the day of the wedding, the palace was filled with music, colors, and drums. Prince Gago stood like a proud lion in gold. Princess Amira walked slowly, her heart heavy. She looked around, hoping for a miracle. Then suddenly, the palace doors flew open. Dango stepped in. He held a small glowing stone and the poison wine bottle. Everyone gasped. "Play it," the king commanded. The room went silent. Then came Lady Rema's voice. "Poison her again. If the king won't give her up, she would die in that wedding dress." The people shouted. Guards moved. Prince Gago tried to run but was grabbed. Lady Rema collapsed in shock. She was arrested immediately. The king walked to Dango with tears in his eyes. "You saved my daughter," he said, "and I nearly bullied you for it." He turned to the crowd and declared, "Let the wedding begin, not between kingdoms, but between hearts." And that day, a servant became a prince, not by blood, but by courage. Princess Amira and Dango were married in front of the people, not for power, but for love. The kingdom of Zuba rejoiced. And from that day, the king ruled with more mercy. Amira became the voice of the people, and Dango, the forgotten god, became the hero no one ever saw coming. Because sometimes the one you ignore today might be the one sent to save your life tomorrow. This is the story of the princess and the palace guard. Thank you for listening to this story. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also turn on your notification bell. Thank you.